Does contain nuts episode. Who cares what episode it is? I don't care. Lee won't have a clue what episode it is. Quite frankly, it doesn't matter, does it? Who really cares? I'm here. You're here. If you're listening, it means you're also here. And once again, this is Does Contain Nuts, the podcast that grabs life by the balls, or tries to anyway. I'm Phil Highland. The northern Geordie lass over there is called Lee Hogarth. And we were just discussing how he's going somewhat bald, aren't you, mate?
I am. I've just adjusted the lighting so you can't see the bald head shine just on one side of my receiver where I comb my other hair over the side.
So I see what you've done there. You've tried, for anyone who's not watching this, so Lee kind of obviously combs his hair from like right to left. But that covers up one bald side, doesn't it? But then it exposes the other side. Do you ever think of like combing it the other way? Just so the other side gets a bit of sun and like they're not...
No, it's weird. I actually don't. I quiff the front up so both are out.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I do. But it's getting a bit out of control now. But you know what it is? I have noticed, right? I used to be very self-conscious about how I looked with my hair and like just me in general. Even just before this lockdown, right? I didn't realize it until we've obviously experienced the lockdown. And now, like, never in a billion years have I ever had hair this thick, ever. Like, it's a mess. And I'm actually not even bothered.
Yeah, mate.
Like, all of those pressures of, I don't know what, like, society put on you to look a certain way and all of that stuff. It's just gone and diluted from my body. Like, everything that I do, I'm so less bothered about what any fucker says. And
I just don't give a shit.
Catherine said, it's my birthday in a month's time. She was like, what do you want for your birthday? I'm like, I don't know. Because normally it's something that I want so that other people can say, oh, look what he's got.
How many people do that though? Get up, go to work, do a job they don't like to earn money, to buy things, to impress people they couldn't even care about.
Exactly. So like it would normally be like a nice top, but I've got loads of nice tops. The only reason I need a new one is so that it was a bit different and it didn't look like I kept wearing the same top. But then that would be for everybody else and not for me.
Yeah, man.
So it's like, now I'm kind of struggling. I'm like, oh, I'll have a pair of Sundigo cotton shorts to wear around the house in.
Ooh, I don't even know what they didn't even understand what you said then, but they sound very nice, mate.
Just some little football shorts to walk around the house in so my balls can swing a boot.
Bars.
Give them a bit of freedom.
Anyway, should we dive into this one? We've got a guest today. I would like to say, well, so we're both, me and Lee are both mates with this guy. He's a good egg. I'd love to say he's does some crazy job, crazy life or whatever. His name's Dave and he's a window cleaner. He's going to probably kill me just for introducing him. Yes, but he's not even in here, so he can't hear it right now.
He's got a lot more to him than that.
There's way more to Dave, our mate Dave, than that. And that's exactly why we've got him on here. I'm only joking. I'm just like taking a piss out of him, really. He's a great guy. He's from the Southwest. He's got a really funny Southwesterny accent. Bristol, yeah. Fucking old cider drinking Bristol town down there. It was a good accent, that, wasn't it? So he's got a great story, and he's going to tell us all about it. He's come a very, very long way in his life. So let's get him out of the green room where he's been sitting there, probably been drinking Grey Goose and enjoying himself in the green room that Does Contain Nuts so kindly puts up for him. Let's get him in here. I'm excited about this. Are you, Lee?
I am.
This will be a funny one. Here he is. Dave, you're muted. Let me unmute you. You might need to unmute. There he is.
Done it, mate.
Say hello, mate.
Hello.
Here he is. Welcome
How you
to
doing,
the podcast.
fellas?
I'm all right, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, good.
Phil's just introduced you as a window cleaner. What do you reckon about that? What do you say back to Phil for introducing you as a window cleaner? I said there's way more to Dave than a window cleaner.
I'm a clear vision technician specialist.
Yeah.
There we go.
Do you know what I mean? Window cleaner, they're just like level. There's levels, isn't there?
You
Do you know
spit
what I mean?
on them, don't you, mate? You spit on those window cleaners.
Yeah, but actually, technically, I'm not actually technically window cleaner anymore. So,
Well, this is something that we will talk about, mate. You are technically, as of a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Man's taken a jump. There's a big story to this guy.
Big
Dave,
jump.
give us in like an elevator pitch. Do you know what that means? An elevator pitch of you. Your life.
Me.
Yeah, like a couple of minutes or a minute or a couple of sentences of David Watson, the nice bald guy from the southwest in a lovely flowery Hawaiian shirt.
It's a beauty, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Like £5 special, mate. It's a beauty. Me, I wouldn't really know where to start. I don't know how you deep delve in or what. I don't know. What do you want?
Right, what are you doing right now? Tell us what you're doing right now. Where you're at right now in this particular moment in time.
Where I'm at right now is I'm still working full time. I do a couple of things. I do fascia and gutter cleaning. I convert VW camper vans, and I've just started running my own man's self-help program, self-development program called Limitless, and that's where I've jumped in at, and I'm loving it. And it's been a long old build up to it. So
that's a brilliant name, that, like.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I've had that name, Christ, about 18 months written up on the board. So yeah, it's just Limitless just says it all, doesn't it? Really, it's just like limitless. Let's do what we can do.
Something to become.
Yeah, man. It's very cool.
So
I got to get some merch though, man. I got my cap. I just got to get it printed.
Have you? You getting some merchandise done?
Of course I am, man. You know I like my hats.
I'm getting some Invincible, like my top group's called Invincible, my top program, and I'm gonna get some t-shirts. Do you know where you type in the description on like Google or something? You type in the description of Invincible, and it comes up, and it's got like the abbreviation and the like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some black tops with that printed on the front.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's very cool. Very cool. What are you getting, Phil?
Nothing, mate. People in my program don't get anything like that. They just get me, and that's it.
Oh, hey, I'm not saying they're getting it, but I am.
Well, maybe I'll have one. If I'm not going to wear one of yours, I'm not
yes, you would.
The day I wore your merchandise, mate, is the day I grow an afro.
Yeah, mate.
And
I like that.
That ain't going to happen. Anyway, so Dave, so window cleaning, guttering, and all that is one thing. Personal development, running a program is a completely different thing, right? They're very sort of different vibes, right? How did you get into the whole personal development game and sort of self-care and all that kind of stuff? Because me and Lee met you as part of a program we was in, Basters, which was a while ago now.
Yeah.
And I know you've overcome a little bit, we know your story. Let us know take us back to a little bit to when you were sort of, as you would call, the younger me, and I know you've referred to the younger Dave, the old Dave, in a lot of conversations me and you have had. Take us back a little bit and give us a bit of a snapshot of what you was like back in the old days.
When Dave was fucked, basically. That's
when Dave was fucked. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, fucked. So I started doing this back in January 2018 when I jumped on a program. So I went up to the first UB event in December, signed up, and that was that. Started doing it then. And at the time, I was not in a good space. I'd had really bad depression the year before. So going back to November 2016, I was in a bad way. So Christmas time, I was fucked, as we put it, in a really bad way. Wasn't engaging with my family at all. I was hidden away. I was very alone. I was very lost. This used to be my little workshop in here, and I used to have shelving up here. And I was that bad. I used to have getting deep. I used to have like all the tools and that. There's a Stanley blade, and I just used to stand in here, and I'd just be like, just do it, just do it, just do it. Your family's better off without you. That's how I felt. So a lot of people will say to you, you've got a lovely little family. Why would you feel that? Why would you do that? Because in my mind at the time, they were better off without me. That was what was going through my head. So, and because I wasn't speaking to anyone and I wasn't telling anyone, it was just getting worse and worse and worse until I had a breakdown just before Christmas. Ended up telling my wife, but not the ins and outs, because I was suffering with things called intrusive thoughts, which I'd never had before. I'd always guessed now, looking back over my life, I had like depression, anxiety, anger issues and all that. But when these intrusive thoughts come in, which came from absolutely nowhere, and they were so criminal in my mind that, I just thought I was better off not here, And
What's intrusive thoughts? What is that?
So it's just intrusive thoughts, are thoughts that come in that, and then they become very repetitive. Obviously, we know now, doing like kind of what we cover and stuff like that, thought's just a thought. Intrusive thoughts can be anything from like religion, violence, sexual, all sorts of fucking things, you know. And mine were hurting my kids. So you can imagine, as a man, a father, whatever it is, all of a sudden, like, you're having these thoughts going through your head that you're going to hurt your kids. I couldn't speak to anyone because I thought my mates would think I'm mad. I thought my missus would kick me out. So I ended up taking myself away from them all. I'd literally go to work, come in the house, go in the back room. And because I wasn't sleeping, because they were so bad, I was just drinking, and I was taking like sleeping tablets just to, and I was never a big drinker. I used to binge drink a lot when, you know, but that's going back before that. But yeah, I was using it as a sedation to sleep. And I couldn't speak to anyone in my mind because I just thought I was fucked. I thought I was going mad. And I remember when I spoke to my wife, she'd just gone and taught a spin class 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday. And she come back, and I just broke down, like completely broke down, crying my eyes out, couldn't barely speak. And then I rang the doctors. This was just before Christmas, and they were like, you better come and see us. And I remember sitting out in my van, just crying my eyes out to the doctor. I'm thinking, he's going to think I'm mad. I'm going to get sectioned. So bear in mind, the week before this, I'd been on the phone to like Mind, and I was trying to get myself sectioned because I thought there was something very wrong with me. I thought I was capable of doing these things. I must have, because I thought them. So I was just like, you know, someone's got to take me away. So it was very fucking dark period in my life, you know. But I think it was just accumulation of like my childhood, my upbringing, certain aspects of things that happened during my life that built me up. And then I'd been delving a little bit into self-help, reading some books and stuff. And I think my mind just said, nah, fuck that, mate. You've always been down here. We'll go up another level here. We'll give you these fucking intrusive thoughts and we'll keep you down here. But what we do now, we'll try and crush you. We'll try and finish you. And that's what it felt like, you know. And it was a bad old fucking time. I still don't overly talk about it. I think it was last year or the year before, my friends kept asking me, you know, because we had a New Year's Eve party. And obviously, I've been quite good now for 2.5 years since I started doing the self-development now. And they were going, what was it? And I said, I'm not going to tell you. And I told them, why didn't you speak to us? But I think because you go into that world and then you start thinking and guessing about what people are going to say about you or think about you without actually knowing facts. I mean, to be fair though, if one of my mates come up to me and said, Dad, I'm like, fuck, dude, what's the matter with you? But now I know so much about it, and I've done so much research, and I've had counselling and all that, I have a lot better understanding of it. So I still get the thoughts, but I can deal with them very quickly because they're not real. They never were real. So, but it's a very, I don't know, it's a touchy subject because intrusive thoughts not really talked about a lot. But I know people that suffer in silence, you know, because they're so scared of what people think of them. It's just another part of the mental health world, you know, that, you know, you can be depressed, you can be anxious, you can be worried, and all that. And this is just another small part of it. But yeah, man, fucking brutal.
Well, what did you think others would think? That makes sense. So like, obviously you're worried to speak about it. You don't want to open up about it because you have a perception that they think something. What is it that you thought that they would think if you told them?
Oh, I thought they'd think I was an absolute fucking nut job. That I was some sort of psycho. How could you think about hurting your kids? And I'm like, yeah, but I wasn't thinking that. These thoughts are coming in. So it's difficult to explain because thinking and the thoughts is all the same, innit? But these are thoughts that just... So what I learned very quickly with being in a program is you know, as soon as I had these thoughts, I went to fucking war with them straight away. So I had to prove these thoughts wrong. That's not me. That's not me. That's not me. But as soon as I did that, I give it the power then to stay in. And as we know, attention. And that was it. And I was in a constant 24/7 bubble of, you know, you're a fucking nut job, mate. But I didn't know any different at the time.
What you resist persists, isn't it? Is that whole thing, isn't it? What you resist.
Yeah, man, 100%. 100%. But it was fucking brutal all times, you know. I didn't even really deep delve into it with Tara, who's my wife. I spoke to my mum when she was alive. But yeah, it was strange. And then I went to the doctors, and they didn't really take me that seriously until I sat down and said, look, mate, I want to kill myself. And he's like, all right, I think we've got some issues here. But because it was over Christmas time, I couldn't get in until January. So, and we'd organised to go away with another family, and they had kids. And obviously I'm thinking, with these thoughts, I'm just going to kill every kid in the world. You know, I was just like, what the fuck? I was so fucked. And then we had to go away, and I didn't drink or anything because it was just crazy.
What was you like when you were drinking, Dave? Sorry, just cutting in. You know, you said you didn't drink there. Like, if you drunk, would that make you worse or what?
Right. So what during the thoughts?
Yeah. So like I say over Christmas, you said there I didn't drink.
No, I just, I didn't drink or anything because I don't know. Is that
because you knew that if you had a drink, you'd...
I think I was just scared of myself at that time because I didn't know any different.
You just wanted to keep control. If you drank, that's one bit more control out of your power.
Yeah, but then previous to that, I'd been drinking just to go unconscious, basically, just to fucking sleep because I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep because it was literally, as soon as I slept, I'd wake up in the morning, boom, fucking, and that'd be it all day. But because I hadn't opened my mouth, no one knew what was going on. They just thought I was going a little bit haywire. But it's difficult because there have been times in the past where I kept to myself. I used to be a really, really heavy gambler, like really heavy. I used to fucking gamble everything. So again, I kept myself to myself then. I'd hide away. It's only really now, like the last 2.5 years, that I've become present within my family. My kids, so my twin daughters are 11 just. My eldest 13. And yeah, I'd say only the last 2.5 years I've really been present in their life. So I've always been around, but I've never been present because I was always trying to get out the door and go and wank a load of money in the bookies or whatever. So I'd never been present. And it's probably the first time in my life I've had the opportunity to do that because, you know, this was like the explosion where everything had to change. So this has been building up since I was a fucking kid. You know, it was strange, and I think looking at it now, like I said, I had counselling. I seen a private counsellor just in January 2017, who was brilliant, by the way. I'm not a massive fan of counselling. I'm not saying people should or they shouldn't, but I think a lot of counsellors just want to go back over the past. And I think to a degree we needed to a little bit because we needed to. This wasn't the only thing I seen her for. It was trying to get to the roots of why I was such a fucking angry, stressed out dude, you know, and the intrusive thoughts just tipped me over the edge. But, you know, she was very good. You know, she put me at ease very quickly, even though the thoughts were still continuous. She said, look, Dave, she was like a 60-year-old lady. She said, I've seen hundreds upon hundreds of people. If you wanted to hurt your kids, and it was violent thoughts as well, to just random people. But she said, if you wanted to do that, you wouldn't have been sat in front of me. This is what you would be doing. So she said, you just need to settle down. And I was like, fucking raw. You know, it was bad. And then I started on pills from the doctors. So they started me on, I was on sertraline, antidepressants, which I swore I'd never take. I'd never take antidepressants. My mum had been on them her whole life. It had never changed fuck all in her life. I swore I'd never, but I was so broken at that time that I just wanted to do anything to try and make myself feel better, you know, and whether that was with drugs, counselling, whatever, you know. And to be fair, for a little while it did ease it. It slowed it down, but the antidepressants were bad, man. It made you feel like shit. It was hard work trying to get into them, and I'd just be like, I'd just be off my face a lot of the time, you know. It's really weird.
In what sort of way, Dave? In what sort of way? Because I haven't had any. I know you have, Lee, haven't you? I haven't had any experience with kind of meds or anything like that. So
yeah, they take a lot of time to get in your system, so they make you sick, nauseous. If I did have a drink, I would just do random things like just get up and get out of bed and walk into the wall or something like that. It was really quite strange, and I wasn't really drinking a lot. After this, I didn't really drink a lot. because I was on obviously the antidepressants, and I was, yeah, and then they just make you feel like shit, basically. But I think it's just lowering your brain waves, I guess, or whatever, trying to, and then up in the happiness in you. So it's almost quite fake. But then a lot of it's, you know, in my opinion, having been on them and not been on them, you know, it's more placebo effect, I think, because you think you're taking something that's going to make you feel happy because they tell you it make you feel happy. And again, this is me not knocking them. I'm not knocking this, or I'm not knocking counselling.
Yeah.
It's just from both sides of it. Now, I'd had counselling on and off from when I was about, fucking years, you know. I look back at it, I wrote a few things down about this, and I was looking back for things, fuck me, you know, I've been in and out of counselling pretty much my whole life. Now, this counsellor, she was brilliant. So we got to about 12 weeks in, I was seeing her every Monday without fail. And she said, look, Dave, fuck off. She didn't say that, but she said, you know, you don't need to be here. You know, you're answering your own questions now. So, you know, if you do need to come back, then come back. But, you know, go on your way. And I think that's what I did. So that was probably like, I don't know, April, May time. And then I felt a little bit better than that. But nothing had really changed in my life. I felt a little bit better. So, but if we go back and like, I don't want to deep delve, but you know, there's a story of why I got to where I got.
Yeah,
right? So
tell it.
If I go back like to when I was young, my mum brought us up. My dad left when I was like 4 years old. I remember we used to go and see him every other weekend, and then that stopped. But my mum had always struggled with mental health badly. Throughout her whole life, she used to work and stuff, but she did struggle with mental health. So she was bringing us up by herself. So it was me and my sister. But I do remember, you know, the mental health. I remember, you know, we had a lot of social workers quite prevalent there, and it popping in and out the house. But Mum used to drink. She did stop drinking eventually, but she used to drink, and she used to self-harm. You know, there'd be times when you come in from school and she'd have done something fucking stupid, or either you would find her, or my sister would find her, or she'd be down the next door neighbour, Norma, and Norma's patched her up. So it was almost like it was fucking normal to us, even though it wasn't normal, you know.
How old were you then, Dave?
I don't know, I reckon around 8, 9, 10. So I remember, you know, like when I was 9, 10, 11, I cooked dinner for me and my sister and that. And like when my mum was with it, she was cool, but she wasn't really with it a lot. She used to spend a lot of time. So we used to have a local, I don't know, hospital, mental health hospital. It reminds me of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, you know. So she'd have visits there. So we'd have a lot of time in and out of respite care. And sometimes that'd be like emergency respite because something go wrong. The fucking social worker come and meet us from the school bus. So we knew then, so we'd try and leg it. But we knew something was wrong then. So yeah, we spent a lot of time in and out of respite care. And I think she must have had quite a bad episode, because I remember I was in foster care in a village not far from me now. And we were there for a year. It was a long time, so we'd still see my mum. But she was a messed up lady, but you know, doing what we do now, she didn't know any different. She was never going to change because she didn't know any different. She was very, and again, it was like, woe is me, life's hard, this, that. I mean, she never let the fact that my dad left her, that was always really, really prevalent in the house on like wedding anniversaries and stuff like that. You'd be told. But she was, you know, she was doing the best she can. But I think that was like the start of it. It was early doors, you know. I used to get bullied badly from an early age. My mum didn't live the nicest lifestyle, so our house was like, if you think of like these hoarding programs, like if you imagine you're just looking at like your house, I shit you not, the rubbish on the floors in our house used to be like this, you know, all the way round. All our like our dishes and shit were in the bathroom upstairs because there were so many just it was fucking horrible, you know. But when you look at it at the time, it's almost, you know, it's not normal, but it seemed normal. So I remember people would just come in now and then and they'd blitz it and then it'd go back, and then it was just fucking hard work, you know. But again, my mum's environment, people she used to knock around with and stuff like that, they weren't I believe my mum had a good heart on that, but the people she was knocking around with, they weren't that nice. They weren't a good environment. When I was 15, I remember when I was 15, my mum had been like, my mum when she was alive, there's always like drama, always conflict, and not always like violent, but there's just always arguments everywhere, like in the street. It was like quite a small community, really, I guess. And I just remember the fucking front door banging and my mum screaming. I was like, fuck me, what's that? I ran to the front door, and my sister, she'd been beaten up badly by the guy across the road that they used to go, and so my sister used to babysit, and he was off his head on drugs, and he smashed her up. Jesus. Knocked her teeth out, knocked my mum out cold. Oh. And I went out, and I obviously went fucking nuts, but I couldn't find him. And that was just like the fucking, the normal life, you know? And then on top of that, it was like the bullying and stuff. And I didn't tell my mum because, you know, she had enough problems as it was.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, that just carried on and on. And like I say, my mum was doing the best she could.
To hold things to yourself from that young age as well. Like,
yeah, man. And that's it, you know. Because
that takes on into adulthood, doesn't it?
Of course it does, yeah. You know, I think starting in this self-development world where, you know, the main things is taking responsibility, accountability, and stop blaming. I was a big blamer. I was fucking owed something. My life was so shit. I deserve something. I deserve happiness. I deserve a lottery win or something like that, you know. And it's just like, you know, that was never going to come. But I was definitely woe is me. That was my default mode. But that's all I'd learned from my mum, because all my mum used to moan about is she's not had this, that, or the other. Mm. You know, and I think that was the thing. And you know, growing up as a young man, you know, especially through and because of like the state of the house and the state of our clothes and that, I mean, I got a cool nickname called Stig of the Dump. And I was like, fuck me. You look at that now, it's brutal, isn't it though? But you could see why people would call you that, because they look at your environment and where you're coming from, and people knew, you know, they never say nothing to you, but they fucking knew, you know. And I think, you know, from quite an early age, I was quite angry. You know, I say I got bullied, but I probably bullied a couple of lads at school that if I ever seen now, I'd apologise. Because I think when you're having something done to you take it out somewhere else. And I think that's one of the most interesting things that the counsellor said to me, is that if you don't let out your emotions or work out your emotions, they will come out. So mine used to come out when I drank. I'd always been vile with my mouth when I drank. So like partners and stuff like that, you know.
You're pretty vile with your mouth when you're not drunk, Dave.
Yeah, you know. And it's like fucking, you know, some of the things you say in that. But she said it has to come out somewhere, and if you don't let it out somewhere, it will come out. You know, and I think that's obviously where it used to come out. But yeah, I think with my old dad and my sister, I think, you know, I joined the army when I was 18. I left. It's all I'd ever wanted to do. I'd been in Army Cadets. I'd done quite well in Army Cadets. I wanted to join the army. I wanted to join the Marines originally, but I'd had problems with my knees. So it took me 2 years to get in, and I joined the 1st Battalion of Light Infantry in September 1993. All I'd ever wanted to do. But because I think I was very weak emotionally, very immature for my age, even though I was mature in some areas, emotionally I was quite weak. I missed home. So as much as my home life was fucking horrible, when everyone tried to take me away, we had to go to respite care or something out, or even wanted to like join the army, I just wanted to go home. I just needed to go. So I struggled with the army, something I always wanted to do. And I think with my, you know, like people ask me about my army career, you know, and, you know, I made the front page of the local paper when I had my passing out parade and that, but it was a struggle for me. I just wanted to leave all the time, because that was my way of doing things. If it didn't work, I'd just quit. And I found it hard, but I didn't leave. You know, I did my phase 1 down in Winchester, and I went to Newcastle, actually, ICB Houston.
Horrible place.
To do my phase 2 training. The Metro Centre was our go-to place when we're out on the piss, you know. And I passed out, and then so I was a trained combat infantryman then, and then I went straight to Northern Ireland.
Oh, did you? Is that what you went there?
Yeah, straight to Northern Ireland. So I had a week's leave, And then, so I come home, and then I went straight out to Northern Ireland.
When was that, Dave? What year was that?
1994.
Oh, when it was bad.
Yeah, but we were lucky because where we were, obviously I was fucking scared because it was Northern Ireland, and at the time it was bad.
Oh,
we were in a place called
going there. Oh.
Yeah, but we were in a place called Fermanagh, and it's quite a low area. So my battalion had been to South Armagh the year before, and they'd lost a guy there. So when we got to Fermanagh, when I joined, we went to Ireland, flew out to Ireland, and we had to do our Northern Ireland trainings, like riot control and shit like that. And then you join your little section, your platoon, which is what I did. So within like I don't know, a few hours of being there, I was out on the street. You had a big book of rules of engagement, what you could and couldn't do, and it was scary, man.
Yeah.
And I think this is where, and this is, we're lucky in the fact that halfway through that tour, this first ceasefire come in. So we were going out fully kitted up, like bomb bursting out of fucking police buildings and that, all ready to wearing berries and all be nice, and it was all calm. But again, this is probably where my army career started coming to an end before it even started, because luckily enough for me, because I've been lucky my whole life, I found the biggest, horriblest cunt in the world to take a disliking to me. And yeah, so I got quickly introduced to this big wanker who was he was a bully basically. I got stitched up because I was a newbie, and he kicked the fuck out of me. He kicked the fuck out of me a few more times after that. And luckily enough, when I got back to Colchester, I was roomed with him, so that made life a whole lot better. So yeah, it was a struggle then, and I think because of my mentality of my childhood and being bullied through school and stuff like that, it was again, woe was me. And I had an opportunity to get out because of my knees, and I did. And so I lasted 2 and a bit years, and the one thing all I'd ever wanted to do in my whole life, I quit on. And it's funny because in like what we do in Unbreakable, and we go back and we look at things and we give ourselves a break, that's one of the biggest things I've looked at, is me quitting the army. Because people ask me about it, and I've always hidden it. But I don't hide it now because it's just part of what it was, because I didn't know any better. And I was given an opportunity. And then that's when the next, I guess, saga in my life started. I left the army, so I had 2 months where they paid me. So I was just out on the piss all the time. And then I was out in a local club when I was 20 years old. And we got into an altercation, and I got slashed. I got cut down. Well, my best friend got slashed first down there. Oh. And then I stepped in to have a word with a guy who was running off. And as I hit him, he hit the car, and he obviously still had the Stanley blade in his hand, and he cut me down here, cut me down there, and cut my shirt open. And it was like a fucking, it was like a bloodbath. I've never seen so much blood. I knew I'd been cut, so I just went down on one knee. And then you took your, without getting too graphic, you took your hand off and your cheek was fucking down there.
Jesus
And every
Christ.
time I was breathing, like, it was like that. It was fucking staggering.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I never knew that happened.
Yeah. It was fucking, I remember, I knew one of the doormen, and I remember them taking us into the toilets to try and stop the bleeding. And it was just like a white tile toilet. It was fucking, just couldn't believe how much blood there was. And back in the day, it was like kickers and white jeans. And
Kickers and white jeans, yeah.
It was that bad, right? I shit you not, it was that bad. My shoes were squelching because it was fucking staggering.
Jesus.
And and that just kicked off a whole new level of Dave's life. After I got over the initial assault, the guy got away with it. Oh. I think I'd always had underlying anger issues as such. But once I'd gone from, I was pissed off he got away with it. I was angry. Then I started getting panic attacks. So I'd go in like Tesco's and stuff, and I just have to put my stuff down and get out. I just couldn't work it out. And then I started drinking a bit again. And then I started binge drinking. And then I turned really fucking angry. Like really angry. I'd never ever start nothing, but I had zero problem getting into it with people. If I felt cornered or someone was taking a piss, something like that, and I was pretty good at it, so I had no problem with it. And I turned into an angry fucker. There was times like in my local village where there would be like my best mate. He'd always get the call to come and rescue me because he's the only one that could talk me down. I'd have my family there. all my other mates. I remember there was one time in my village, and there was literally like 15 people, 2 coppers and a police car one side, and there's me the other side going, "Come on, let's fucking go." I was wild.
You're not a big guy, Dave. For anyone who's just listening to this, you're not a big guy. You're like my height. No. You're like 5'6" or something, aren't you?
Yeah, 5'7", mate.
5'6", mate. You're not taller than me. Come on, man. Don't give it all that one.
But I was fucking wild. You know, I was angry. I was angry as fuck, you know, and I was made to go to counselling then, or I was going to go to jail. So I had some counselling then, which didn't really work. And I think up until I was about 37, 38, that was a continuous thing. There'd be moments that if I drank too much, it was always drink related. So I never got into trouble when I was sober. It was always drink related when I drank too much. I'd either get in a fight or stick up for someone, get involved with something, be abusive to a previous girlfriend. I got like my previous, I've been with Tara now 20 years. But I was with my previous girlfriend for probably like 5 or 6 years. And she was with me through when I got slashed and stuff like that. She knew a lot about my past and I was fucking horrible to her, you know. I was never violent, like physically or anything, but just verbally horrible. And I did see her a couple of years back. I just put my hands up, man. I said, "I'm sorry," you know. I'm not saying what I did was acceptable, but you know, there was a reason why I was acting like that. I just put, and she's been good as gold. You know, she didn't speak. She hated me, so she didn't speak to me for years. But now, if I see her, she says hello. That's it. You know, there's no, you know, like we're best pals. But I think that's the thing. And Tara's at it. Tara's at it tough. You know, I think for a long time, even with the kids, you know, I'd still go out, get fucked up, get in trouble. But like I say, there was a point where I started calming down, like 37, 38. I was trying to, you know, I'm grown up now.
How old, Dave? Sorry, how old are you now? So
44.
44. So like
45 next month. I know, I look about 43, don't I? But
I was going to give you about 42 as it goes, but yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've groomed yourself very nicely for this podcast, I see.
Yeah, man.
Nicely shaved.
I try not to, and I try not to worry about my hair too much, but it's gone. I just have to give the shit up. You know, I loved my hair as well.
Yeah, but since you met me, I've noticed since you met me, you've started shaving it like all the time now because you think
beautiful,
that
mate.
guy looks cool, man. I want to be like him.
Yeah. To be fair, they're suited. I think everyone who's supposed to be bald, like they're suited anyway.
Yeah, man.
I think so as
That's
well.
it, innit?
If people shave their head and they're not bald, they always look stupid. Well, no, they don't always look stupid. That's not a nice thing to say. But there's a lot of people I know. Like one of my best mates shaved his hair like years ago. And he's got loads of hair, and he just looked weird. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. The thing was with me, I always used to put my skinhead down. I felt like a thug, so I thought I was a thug, and I looked like a thug, and it's just like, fuck me. I loved my hair. I did love it, but it went a bit thin. I can get away with it.
Yeah, you can. You've still got it there. Yeah.
Yeah. I can get away with it, but I don't like it.
Lee's sitting there thinking, fuck.
Yeah, fucking let's just go bold.
Yeah.
I know, bro. I get it.
But yes, do you know, my dad's very the same as me. He gets to this point and
he just stays there.
And same for me. This hasn't got any worse in years. It's just how it is. Just how it is.
That's how it is, mate. That's how it is.
That's how it is.
Anyway, so Dave,
tell us some of the things that have helped you along the way. Tell us so that the listeners, because there's going to be a lot of listeners who can relate your story. There's a lot of points in there where some of the listeners have probably been. What sort of things or advice or what sort of things did you go through that actually made a difference and actually helped you so that the listeners can be like, oh, I might give that a bash?
Can I add one question in? Just quickly, before you go into that, was there one kind of point that you turned? Because like Lee saying, and probably a lot of people listening that can relate to this, right? Thinking, fuck, I just don't know what to do. So what did Dave do? Is there one thing that you did that was like, that's it. That's now I'm on the way up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. So very quickly, before I get to that point, so very quickly, like I said, I had the counselling and the pills. And then, so that was up until, and then my old dear died in August 2017, very suddenly. And we had a very deep conversation not long before she died about how proud she was of me and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, thanks, Mum. Didn't really think nothing, because you think your parents are going to live forever. And that was me then. I was stuck, but I didn't want to revert back to how I was. So you asked about at one point, I watched the video, and then I went to a seminar, and then I implemented the things that they asked me to implement, which was, I said it earlier, was taking responsibility, accountability, and stop blaming everything. And a lot of people struggle with that, and I struggled with it at first. But you got to stop blaming. You've got to hold yourself accountable. And again, people go, oh, yeah, it's not as easy as that. Like, I still have people now going, oh, yeah, but it's no different from me. You've got to want to change. You've really got to want to change. And what might work for me or you, Lee, or anyone else might not work for other people. You've got to find that one thing, and then you've got to commit, and you've got to be consistent. So when I say, like, start self-development 2.5 years ago, I've been on it every fucking single day since. It's very rare that I don't do my morning routine or do what I need to do every day to keep myself together, because I don't want to go back to that fucking dude. And there's no reason for me to go back to that dude. Yeah, it is literally, it's just taking accountability for yourself and responsibility for where you're at, because there could have been a dude, obviously probably not as good looking as me, but a dude that went through exactly the same as what I went through, and it's perfectly fucking fine because he dealt with it differently. He had different skills to be able to do that, and there's the reason I do this, and the reason I've started doing a program, the reason I do like a bit of Facebook content and that, because ultimately, and you hear it in lots of different various ways, is like, you're never too fucked to change, and that's why I put myself out there. That's why I try and be as honest as I can and upfront and open. I'm an open fucking book, and probably too much sometimes, but I just want to show people that you can fucking change and you can be happier. And that's what it is. It's being happier in yourself, because I look at where I was at and where I'm at now, and my family's happier. I mean, they used to walk around on fucking eggshells around me, because I was a triggered fuck, And again, I just didn't know any different, but now I do, and now I know that difference. And I put myself in there, I've got a coach, I'm in a program, and I'll keep fucking doing that.
I think what's an important thing that you mentioned there is I'm just happier now. I think this whole world of personal development and self-care, whatever you want to call it, can be labelled as a bit of as something that only people who are a certain type of person get into. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like, or you have to be broken to get into it, to want to make yourself better. It's not that at all, is it? It's just about making your life a bit better, making your time on this fucking floating rock that we all live on in space a bit more enjoyable and more of a laugh.
100%. You don't have to be fucked to start doing it. You know what I mean? It just comes, from my side of things. I was fucked, so
makes more sense.
You don't have to be
fucked today.
Yeah,
yeah, man. Do you know what I mean? But that's it. It's like people look at it. I look at people, and a lot of people like moan and bitch, and because they don't know any different. But it's almost seen as, I don't know, especially like doing the kind of stuff I do now, with like meditation now. It's all like a bit woo-woo, a bit tree huggery, and what are you doing that for? Well, I just want to feel happier, and it makes me happier.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I know a lot of people that could benefit from doing stuff like this, but they got to want to do it, haven't they?
Have you seen? Do you know is it Alcoholics Anonymous? I think is it the 12 steps?
Yeah. So I was in GA.
Is as you're describing it, it's as though you ran through the 12 steps yourself.
Did.
Like the first step is obviously admitting that you're powerless to the situation and that it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And then there's like you try and do your own plan, but then there's admitting that your plan actually isn't working. So you have to follow another plan. And then when you follow that plan, like they say as well, like obviously, and even I agree for myself, I'll always, because I was fucked in a way, like they say you're always going to need a program, you're always going to need structure. Like you said it yourself, you're always going to have a coach, you're always going to be in a program. Me too. I'm always going to have a coach and I'm always going to be in a program, because I think people like us, like obviously we've got two totally different backgrounds, but struggled or suffered in some way. I think we need programming, we need structure, and we constantly need that. Or if we fall off, again, where we just fall back to old habits and bad behavior. Like that it just sounded when we're talking there was very, very similar to the 12 steps, and now
So I did
which is like step 12, isn't it? You've done it for a few years, and then it's turned your life around. You've done the talking, the counselling. You've gotten all of the stuff off your chest. You've revisited your past. You've delved in there, and then now you're kind of at the 12th step where you help everybody else now, isn't it?
I think also the having a coach thing, sorry Dave, it's holding you to a higher standard, isn't it? You know, and being in a program and that, it's not just always about getting yourself out of a hole. It's just, you know, being around people or having a mentor, coach, whatever, who just holds you to a higher standard, you know, and keeps you just wanting to, or helps you just to get a bit more, like we said earlier, more out of life and be happier and worry less. And who doesn't want that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, it's the environment, isn't it? It is the environment, you know, being around some cool fucking dudes the last couple of years, you know. And I think with the coach and the mentor, and you can have that in any aspect of your life. It doesn't just have to be for mental health, you know.
Yeah.
And I think having a mentor, I'm not saying that you stay with the same coach or the same mentor, but you always, for me personally, I want to be learning, and that's not being, you know, that's my whole entire life. I want to learn more, and I need to learn out of people that have done it and lived it, and then they teach it. So that's why I love it.
Keep your brain engaged, isn't it? And just like when you learn new stuff, and I think it's a part of the process of feeling happier. Like obviously we know it's like just a result of doing something, but I think majority of people who learn new stuff on their accord, so like learn something that they want to learn about, feel happier, don't they?
Well, it's that sense of fulfillment, isn't it? And I've said this loads of times. I think me and you, Lee, have said it. People go through life not really achieving anything, not really having that sense of fulfillment, right? And there's no wonder why people don't feel like they're getting much out of life. If you don't get that, oh yes, I finally put those shelves up, I feel good now. Do you know what I mean? Or oh yes, I've learned how to play the guitar. Or oh yes, I've done this, that, and the other. It's good feelings, and we like having that sense of accomplishment. You know,
I think a lot of people miss out that. Do you know, like where you were saying, oh yeah, I put the shelves up. Oh yeah, I've done that. Oh yeah, I've done that. I think a lot of people are so future based, and I was there too. I used to do this. I used to be so future based that when I did do something good, it was kind of over, and I was already thinking of the next thing.
What's next?
So it was. I didn't even get a chance to celebrate what I had just done because I was already like, if you're riding a bike, I've just been learning how to corner better and stuff. And one of the blokes said, he says, stay ahead of the bike. In fighter jet pilots, they say you must stay ahead of the plane or stay ahead of the jet. And that's where I was kind of staying ahead of the game. I was staying ahead of what I was doing. So I was missing me opportunity and me chance to celebrate it and get that achievement and fulfillment. So that's just like another perspective on sometimes where people are at. Do you know what I mean? Some people are getting it, aren't getting the achievement because they're not doing anything. They're doing fuck all to get the achievement. But then there's some people who are doing a hell of a lot. You're doing shitloads of stuff. Maybe you're being very productive, but not getting anywhere. But at the same time, you're being very productive, but you're so ahead of the game looking at what's the next step, that you miss out that chance and opportunity to celebrate it and to enjoy it.
Talking of staying ahead of the game, I need to plug my laptop in. I'll be 2 secs. Future-based thinking.
I think that's the thing, though. And you talk about like the happiness side of things. It's like, you know, I like with the guys I got in my group now. You know, I'm saying you've got to do this for you, because a lot of us try and do stuff for other people to make other people happy, and it's just finding it within yourself. So I know that by me finding a better me and learning what I'm learning and feeling happier in myself, that's automatically going to come out of me and around my family. They get the better me, you know. And yeah, I think that's the thing. And I think with Tara, because she's been through a lot of it with me, you know, and we had a deep conversation about it. And I said, why on earth do you stay with me? You know, why? And this was like probably a year or 8 months ago. And she said, Dave, because I've always seen this little bit of greatness in you. I can see it in you. Not like you're a great human, but there's always been this thing in you that I knew if you could find it and see it, you could start achieving it. And that's just being a happier dude, you know. And that's what I'm trying to do, you know. Yeah. And like you say with the goals, yeah, I did the fan dance, I did this, I did that. It just wasn't good enough. I'm like, I grind it out. next thing, you know, and it's, I think it's finding that thing that it's enjoying the journey. I
think it's
and really taking it in.
The speed of life, isn't it, as well? I think like obviously we know now, like, slowing down is a massive part of enjoying life, and slowing
100%.
down and being aware and taking in your environment, observing different situations, observing your experiences so you can take them in and absorb them. I think just the speed of life, like sometimes if we were to think about 3 speeds, imagine life's got 3 gears. There's some people who are hovering around in gear 1 where they're just doing literally like they're just lying around watching Netflix, eating McDonald's and doing absolutely jack shit.
Sounds all right, that.
I was going to say, what's from that?
Then the speed 2, but at the same time, at that speed 1, doing that is good. There's the same as what Phil said before. There's no fulfillment, there's no achievement, there's no nothing in there. Then you got speed 3, which is you're smashing loads of stuff. You got like so much achievement, like it's unbelievable, but you're going so fast that you're missing the whole lot. You've hardly got any memory or recollection of anything, and you're not getting the celebration or the fulfillment because you're just going so fast. And what we're trying to look for really essentially is there's just that gear 2 where we're moving fast enough in order to get the achievement and be aware of it so that we can celebrate the achievement, but we're going slow enough to make sure that we're looking after ourselves and not burning out in that energy zone. We're not blowing all of our energy away or giving it away. We can take the time out when we need it just to sit back and do shit like fuck all one day and just watch Netflix. But then we know that if we do that consistently, we're going to miss out on the achievement. So the next day we might just ramp it up, and we got them levels. But it's ultimately the more we can stay around gear 2, that's kind of like our happy place, isn't it, really? Because we can get the achievement where we're going to be happy. We can have the relaxation where we get the happiness from the relaxation without slowing down too much. And we're moving at a pace where we can take in the beauty of the fucking world.
Yeah,
man.
100%.
There's the least 3 gear the life system.
3 gears.
I'm going to write that one, dude.
3 gears.
Right, that one doing. Dave, so you clear vision, whatever bollocks you like to label yourself as, but you're not doing that anymore, are you?
Right.
So I know how hard was it you've done that for a long time, cleaning people's windows, right?
Man.
And then you decided, because we had a few chats about it, to just stop doing that. How hard was that?
It was hard. The decision was easy, actually, in the end.
Yep.
It was a very easy decision. I had 6 weeks off during lockdown, went back 2 weeks in, just had a fuckful of it. And I was actually chatting to one of Tara's friends, and I was having a bitch and moan about it. She went, well, you don't have to do it. And she is actually the last house I cleaned. And I went in, I wrote a letter up, texted the majority of my customers saying, I'm stopping. So emotionally, it's quite draining because I've had a lot of these customers for years, and like little old days and that, I felt guilty, but I knew if I didn't stop all, then I would just slowly slip back into it. I guess that's it anyway in life, isn't it? If you stop doing something, you slowly slip back into the old routine. So I stopped doing it. I stopped doing it also because, like I said at the beginning, I'm trying to get my own program out, trying to coach men, and it's just leading by example. And it's not about being reckless or anything like that, but it is about leading by example. I've got ways and means of earning money still, even though window cleaning was my main source of income. I carry on doing the faces and gutters, and like I say, I can fit out camper fans and that, and get after what I really want to do. And that's, I want to get out, I inspire people. I want people to fucking see that, you can be happy like we talk about. You can be happy. I want to talk to people. I want to get not necessarily get my story out for me or anything like that. Just get my story out. Go, look, hey, that dude was fucked. And now he's not. And he did this, this, and this. And that's how because a lot of people will blame their past, and they bring their past with them. And if you bring your past with you, it's just going to sit with you. You'll have them same feelings and emotions that you had in the past. So now I'm just trying to get out there and go, do you know what? As fearful as I am about doing it, it's like, let's go.
You're fearful, I know that, but how important would you say to your kind of mental state, happiness, whatever, is it that you are doing something that you really want to be doing because now you've been talking about doing this coaching for a while, right? And not really enjoying the window cleaning for a while because of the stress, because of the weather, and it's well dependent on factors, wasn't it? Now you're not doing that. How has that changed your state of mind, your mental state, now that you're not doing what you didn't like, and now you're pursuing something that you want to be pursuing for a while?
Yeah. No, it is amazing. Like,
look at the smile on his face. Look at the smile,
like, stopping window cleaning was, like I say, it was quite hard to do, but doing it 100% the right decision. You know, the weight lifted off my shoulders, and then to actually put myself out there and go, right, let's do this program. So I did my little 7-day, and then I got signed up to my 28 days. So that just like, I was like, fuck me. You know, people are obviously listening to me. But yeah, I think that's the thing. And I know, because I've been talking about doing it for such a long time, it used to get me down. So no matter how good my training was and what I was learning and what I was practicing every day, I was in other areas, I was getting down, because it was like, and it was infuriating and frustrating. And now I'm doing it. I'm either going to do it and it's going to work, or it's not going to work. And I'll just, if I need to take lessons from that, I'll take lessons. But unless I fucking stepped out of my comfort zone and tried, I was never going to know. I was guessing. So man.
And then you become that person that, and a lot of people do this, are constantly saying, I'd love to do that, or I wish I was more like that, or I wish I did more of this. You know what I mean? Yeah. And how can you expect 100%. To be, you know, pretty happy if you're constantly wishing you was doing something else, or you were a certain way, you know?
I totally get it. Like I say, a massive weight lifted off my shoulders, and you know, you're doing what you want to do. And yeah, man, it's cool.
It's like that, cool. like what you're saying there, the kind of building up a regret list. So like, obviously people say live life without regrets, but when they're saying I'd love to do that, and I'd love to do that, and I'd love to do this, but don't do it, they're kind of lugging around a big heavy old list of stuff that, like, of regrets. They're kind of creating and lugging around a list of regrets. How can that give you energy? Can only tire you out. Looking around all of shit.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because we all say, like, a lot of people say, I fear doing this, I fear doing that, but it makes you miserable not doing it. So what are you fearing? Because ultimately, there's nothing really to fear. Do you know what I mean? Until you've done the thing, there's no point fearing it, because you've not even fucking tried it. Yeah. So I used to get caught up in that. Well, what if it doesn't? Well, actually, I'm not going to know until I actually go and do it. Yeah. You know, and I get why people don't do the things, but until you actually do the thing, you're not going to know. And it'll work or it won't work. And that's not a bad thing either, you know? So at least you know.
Yeah.
Can't go through life expecting everything we try to work out, because then you'll never ever try anything. And like you said there, good point that, mate, because you're not trying something because you're a little bit scared of how you're going to feel. You might feel shit if it doesn't work. Well, you feel shit not trying it. So you might as well try and find out.
Yeah.
Staying as you are.
Yeah. 100%.
So
there you go.
So give us some more insights into what works. Like what helped you, Dave? Give us some more insights into what helped you the most. Or even what techniques. So obviously you have this program where you help men. What kind of techniques are you taking them through? Because obviously the things that, not to give too much away about your program though, but obviously the things that you implement inside of your program are going to be the things that you know work for yourself, or has helped you in some way. Like, same for my program. I've got loads of stuff that I've learned. Half of it I've just put to one side because it wasn't effective for me, or it wasn't that helped me. So my program's based upon my experience. So the things that work for me and the things that I experienced good is what I kind of promote. And the same I think you're going to do for yourself. So what kind of things helped you overcome anger issues, like, or allow you to deal with them? What kind of things allowed you to improve and help with the intrusive thoughts and get you basically from that fucked man before, as we described it, to the Dave now?
Yeah, so like I said, early doors for me personally, it was just asking for help, opening your mouth, whatever. The commitment, consistency, and then stepping into it, and then practicing these things that. So I told a guy who's about this, getting involved, being consistent, being accountable to yourselves, morning routine, evening routine. These are really big fundamentals that I've implemented in my life. I used to be the dude that stay in bed till 9 o'clock. I was self-employed. I didn't have to get out of bed till whenever I wanted. So the morning routine's massive. I say, one of the biggest things that I've, if not the biggest thing that I've learned is around meditation. Different techniques of meditation have been huge for me. Huge. And there's various different meditations, and you have to find one that suits you. But that's what suits me.
Talk us through your meditation. What kind of meditation do you do, and how do you do it? How do you set it up? Is your meditation within your morning?
Oh, reception. I think Dave's reception's going a little bit haywire, isn't it? This is what happens when you come from Bristol in the southwest. Normally they just wire up.
Hey, I can hear you.
Are we still there? I can hear that.
Can hear you. So I heard you saying, what do I get them to do part of that in my morning routine, as in their morning routine?
Yeah. Well, talk us through your morning routine and what meditation that you found worked for you best. I think that's a better question.
By the way, Dave, that's a lovely man cave that you've got there. Shame there's no
man. I built this. I built a lot of stuff when I was really low and going through a hard time in my head. A lot of it that I've got now is from, when I was a bit off kilter. I was going to say a loony, but that's a bit, I don't know if that's politically correct. Just trying to see if I can get a better signal.
There we go.
No, girls, stay there.
What you've also built is an excellent bar in your garden, I know. Look at that.
My bar. It's a bit messy.
How good is that? For anyone just listening to this, I'm not even going to try and describe it, but it's a very nice looking barbecue outdoor area. Ah, dear.
Just trying to get better signal.
Yeah, it's all good, mate. I think we're all right.
Yeah, so I do get them. I just get them breathing. I just, at the moment, because it's basic, I just get them breathing, concentrate on their chest, their heart, in and out, and just relaxing. Because I think that's the biggest thing within my program is I want them to get after it, but I also want them to be relaxed while they're doing it, not stressed out, thinking they're overwhelmed and they've got to get this done and that done, because in my mind that defeats the object of trying to find a calmer, happier place. Yeah,
it takes them into third gear, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't want them in third gear unless I need them in third gear for a good 10 minutes or something,
Yeah.
I want them to enjoy the process of feeling calmer and finding happiness and feeling more chilled out. Because I think a lot of programs out there, and I'm not knocking them, but a lot of programs out there are grind. And it's just like, that's just not me now. I was that grinder, but I just found a different way now. And it's what I prefer. And I think that's what works more for me.
Mm. And you're only ever going to coach what works, what you've done before, right? And what you think works. Be very hard coaching something that you deep down don't really think works.
Yeah, and then if I try and do that, then I'm not doing me, am I?
No.
And that's part of the reason why it took me so long to start, because it was the old comparison game. How could I do this? How could I be like that? Well, I'm just going to do me, and if me works, cool. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But yeah, I'm loving it. I think it's mint.
That's the thing, isn't it? Like we always look at people and we look at situations and we're like, how do I do that? The thing is, we're not meant to do that, because you're meant to do you. Like what you're saying, we could look at I could look at Tony Robbins or whatever, try and think, or Les Brown, whatever, people might know, and be like, how do I do that? The answer is, you don't do that. You don't need to know how to do that. You need to know how to do you. You can do you, and it's irrelevant to the whole thing, because you're not trying to be that, you're trying to do you.
Man.
The answer, or the question is not how do I do that, it's how do I do me.
Yeah, and then in that way, then you'll connect with the people that you're meant to connect with.
Yeah,
and that's what will work, and that's why I try and just do me. There'll be some people that think, not my cup of tea, mate, but there are people that go, actually, I like what this dude's on about. Maybe you can teach me a thing or two.
Yeah.
The trouble is, if you're only being you, Dave, you're relying on your own personality, and your personality sucks, man.
Oh, dude, I'm gangster. What am I? Honestly, I'm far too cool for you, brother.
Yeah, you are. I'm surprised you even came on this podcast, really.
I mean, to be fair, you're just pissed off because you were into skinny jeans and that, and I called you out on it.
You always say that. I don't wear skinny jeans, man.
Yeah,
You think because I live somewhere relatively near the vicinity of London that I wear skinny jeans with no socks and shiny loafers.
And we ain't even getting involved with you, Ogarth, wearing your skinny jeans.
See,
skinny jeans.
Lee, he's the one that wears that, mate. You see what he wears. Jesus Christ, he's that one.
I put them on the other day, not too long ago, and it felt weird as fuck, like.
Because they are.
Because they are. Yeah, exactly.
Come on, then. What jeans do you wear, Phil? Boot cut.
No, just normal. Just like the boot cut. They are horrendous. Do you remember them? Oh, horrible. No way. Mate, they boot cut just sits horribly on the Air Maxes. It's all about how your jeans sit on your trainers, man.
So
red jeans, I just wear shorts.
Straight cut jeans.
I just wear, no, they're like, I don't know, they're sort of skinny, but they're not like the painted on ones like you wear. You know, it looks like you're just wearing tights. Oh.
Yeah, man.
Or
it looks like you're wearing bloody leggings.
Like you see like a little strangled sparrow in your pants. You know what I mean? Ugh.
What do you wear, Dave? What's your jeans?
He doesn't wear jeans.
I don't wear jeans. I think I got one pair of jeans.
Oh, you're a
Levi's.
cargo
they're
short.
all right.
Mate, where they live, it's all shorts and flip-flops. Yeah.
Shorts, that's it. I don't muck around. Shorts.
Me and Catherine were walking along the street once, and she asked me this question. Now, you can answer it for her, actually. She says, how old do you have to be before it's acceptable to wear a pair of cargo shorts?
You settle down there, son.
Oh, no, seriously. That's what she said.
You're a whippersnapper, Lee, ain't you? How old are you? You're just 30, ain't you?
Hi, 30, coming off 31.
He's a young gun, mate. He's a young gun.
Do you wear them stupidly long tops as well that come down like it's a dress?
Big long t-shirts, yeah.
I'm ankles out. I'm an ankles out skinny jean lad.
Oh man.
I just wear. I just wear these socks.
Yeah, you wear.
I've actually got pink Under Armour socks.
You said it's a surprise.
Yeah, it's not a surprise, is it? Yeah, no, it's not a surprise.
You know what I mean? Jesus Must be a hair thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I think that's what it is.
Weird down is turns into a girl.
Dave, I've got a question. Before we go, kind of end with this question most when we remember. Most of the time we finish with this. If you could go back in time, let's say to a point maybe when you was the most fucked up that you were.
Yeah.
Advice, knowing what you know now, would you give yourself, your younger self?
Well, legitimately, sounds a bit fluffy. It does sound a bit fluffy, but just stop. You're doing the best you can, and it's all going to be all right. You know, when I've done that thing where I've gone back and looked, that's what I've said to the younger me. I've had a chat with me saying, it'll be all right. You just got to find your way, haven't you? And it'll all be all right. You got to do the work, mate. And that's what I told myself. You've got to do the work, but it's going to be all right. Yeah, man, 100%. It's cool, isn't it? It's cool how you can go from spending 4 decades of being fucked to living a pretty happy life. It's pretty cool. You know, so,
it's good to see you smiling, mate. You've got a beaming grin on your face every time I see you. So it's good. Apart from the times when I'm beating you in an obstacle race.
Look, let's just square this away, mate.
Every time.
Let's just listen, you two.
Every time you just throw the bait out and you hook Dave in first.
This is something we've got to clear out because you two are like fitness gurus, right? And I chased your two whippersnapper asses up. I was quite chubby then. I'm a chain smoking fool. I had a broken body and I was chasing you two up the hill and you both looked around and shit yourselves.
You did all right.
I remember Ogarth running down thinking, he must have been thinking, how is this fucker keeping up with me? I
think you cheated though. I reckon
100 more meters you two would have had it.
I think you cheated. I think you just cut across because that was a big windy old course. I think you just went, there, if I go quickly, I'll have a fag round the corner and then I'll just cut the rest of it.
I tell you what, that made that even more hardcore, mate. Is I picked myself off the floor and did me 2-mile run as well on the treadmill straight after.
Oh, you did, didn't you? That was when you were doing like 2 miles a day or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did that 2 miles for 60 days, and it was part of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. It's all right. The time will come. I did 61 push-ups yesterday in 1 hit. I've never done that in my life.
I think I saw you do that or read it somewhere. You posted, didn't you?
In my life, I've not done 61.
What have
I did 61.
I done it. I think I'm only at 48. I think something like that.
Yeah, I did 61 in 1 hit.
Hang on, Lee. So Dave, the chain-smoking clear vision technician specialist, can do more press-ups in one go than you, who is a fitness freak.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's concerning, bro.
And Dave hasn't got any. And Dave hasn't got any working joints in his body.
No, they're all ruined.
But I've only been training again for about a month or
Your
so.
whole life.
Yeah.
No, I've had ages off from it here.
Oh yeah. Always comes.
I don't know if you heard this before. Cool story, bro.
Yeah. Dave,
It's been years. I would never have brought it up. I would never have brought it up that I was lower than you.
Yeah. But now
it's
you
nice,
have,
man.
and we all know.
Mm.
It's not a competition, is it? Ain't a competition.
No, it's not a
Listen,
competition.
And I'll be blasting out 100 next time we do the podcast.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Be hench next time.
It's because he's got his cargo shorts on. It makes him lighter. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. Yeah, and no hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more streamlined. Do you know what I mean?
That is,
Doing
mate.
push-ups.
Aerodynamic, man. Aerodynamic.
Yeah, man.
Right.
David, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on here, mate. I knew we'd have a good chat.
Thanks for having me.
Been fun, isn't it? Has this been the highlight of your year? Probably coming on here
Of course
so far.
Is.
Good
You
answer.
two are cool cats, aren't you?
Of course.
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's the first one I've ever done as well. So
There you go, mate. This has been a good chat.
grand.
Good chat. Thank you for turning up.
No worries.
Right. I'm off.
I'm off. In fact, one last thing. If anyone wants a bit more from you, Dave, Kinky, where can they find you? Is there anywhere anyone can find you?
I'd like to spill out all these different platforms. I'm just on Facebook. It's Dave Watson at the moment. There will be a business page coming. But yeah, it's just my personal page, Dave Watson.
Look him up. He'll probably make friends with you. He's a bald guy with a beard, and he's probably wearing some weird shirt or something like that.
And a hat.
And a hat, yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Gangster.
There you go, Dave Watson. Does contain us. I've been Phil Highland.
I've been Lee Hogarth.
Come on, Dave.
Oh, I'll be Dave Watson.
Oh God, I thought that was going to be the first time where we sort of got it right and we didn't get it right.
Let's do it again.
Well, it's your podcast, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So you don't want to get involved.
You've got to, so let's do it again. So
I'm not going to edit this. We're going to put it in anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, do it.
I've been Phil Highlands.
I've been Lee Hogarth.
I'll be Dave Watson.
Yeah, you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Boom.
Professionals right there. Oh. Right, that's it. We're out of here. Cheers, Dave. Good man.
Thanks, lads.
Later.
Steady.
Cheers,
Cheers, man.